Hi, I'm Leigh Sexton, and I am the Women's Ministry Coordinator here at Celebration Church, and I have been here since 2004. And I know you're probably thinking, gosh, did she start when she was 10? But no, I've just been here a really long time. So when Hannah asked me to share, I kind of went through the things in my life that I thought have been very impactful for me. And an ongoing theme in my life has been just to enjoy the seasons that God has me in. And that has been hard for me. I am not going to lie. I am a go-getter, get it done kind of girl. And so to sit and really enjoy each season has been a challenge. And so today I just wanted to share a little bit about some things that God has done and is doing in my life to help me in that area. But first of all, I wanted to share a scripture in Ecclesiastes 3. And this is actually from the Message version, just because I liked the wording of this version. But it says, "There's an opportune time to do things, a right time for everything on the earth. A right time for birth and another for death. A right time to plant, another to reap. A right time to kill and another to heal. A right time to destroy and another to construct. A right time to cry and another to laugh. A right time to lament and another to cheer. A right time to make love and another to abstain. A right time to embrace and another to part. A right time to search and another to count your losses. A right time to hold on and another to let go. A right time to rip out and another to mend. A right time to shut up and another to speak up. A right time to love and another to hate. A right time to wage war and another to make peace." And so with that scripture, just sharing a little bit about my story, and some of you may know, some of you may not, but I probably can start looking back to the times of not really being content in the seasons that I'm in, just going back to my singleness. And I did not get married till I was 33 years old. And back in that day, that was a long time. That was kind of late. And so I really just always wanted that. I felt called to be a wife and a mother, and I always wanted that in my life. And so in my extended series or season of singleness, I did not enjoy the things of that as much as I should have. For instance, I did work for a ministry, and we got to go on mission trips. We got to do so much ministry work, but it was jaded for me a little bit because I wanted to do that with somebody, with my spouse. And so I didn't enjoy just spending time with my friends. I didn't go and buy the house. I didn't go and do the things because I was always wanting that person to enjoy them with. And although I love my husband dearly, looking back, I wish in my 20s and early 30s, I really would have just taken the time to see what all God had for me instead of wishing for the next best thing. And the same goes for marriage. I finally got married, and we felt older, and so immediately we tried to start having children. And people ask as soon as you get married, when are you going to start having kids? And so that extra pressure, and looking back even on that, I wish that Jamie and I just had the time back, that those 2 years where we could have just enjoyed each other and getting to know each other. I don't regret having my children at all. I don't mean to say that, but just that season, I wish that I wouldn't have pushed so hard to have children. And then in the season of having children, we suffered 2 miscarriages, and in between our 2 kids, and the pain that went with that, not allowing ourselves to grieve through that, to try to get pregnant immediately following that. There are just some things that I wish that we would have just taken our time and allowed the Lord to just minister to us. And seasons are not a bad thing. There are good seasons too. And I think also a really important thing to remember is sometimes it's time for a season to end. And I can look back at my time in ministry. I had worked for a ministry for 9 years, and before I came to Celebration, and it was my family. It was very close to me. But probably 2 years before I left that ministry, I felt like God was calling me away. But I held on to that because it was comfortable and it was what I knew. So I guess my challenge for you today would just be, one, to look at the season you're in. And honestly, this is a rough season. I mean, we're all in a rough season, and we all probably are ready for this to end. I have heard so many times like, oh, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Like, it's just going to end when 2020 is over. But there's also things in this season that have been good, and the things that you've learned in this season, the things that I've learned in this season, the closeness that my family has shared. And so don't wish away the season that you're in. But also, in the same regard, don't hold on to the season that you're in if God is calling you to something else. The scripture says that God makes all things beautiful in the seasons, and I don't think we go through things and we go through seasons in vain. And I think where we're at, God will use those. I know for me, growing up in a divorced home and different things, God used that season for ministry. Even now, I can relate to young girls or women that have grown up in a wacky situation. And so I would encourage you to really look at the season that you're in and see what God has for you, and to enjoy that season. Enjoy each moment of that season. Take the trip. Do the mission work. Enjoy each child. The little grins on their faces and the giggles and even the long, hard nights. Just enjoy that time. They say that motherhood, the days are long, but the years are short, and that's so true. And that's so true for so many seasons that we're in, that the season itself seems long, but then when we look back, we see that it really was God working, and God had a plan through the whole season. So enjoy the season that you're in, but don't stay in the season too long if God's telling you to move on, and know that God has a beautiful plan. He has a beautiful plan for me. He has a beautiful plan for you in the season that you're in. And I just pray that in the year ahead that we can all really surrender truly to what God has for us in this season, and really ask Him how He wants to use us, and what the season is to look like in His eyes, and that we truly will chase after Him, and know that if we hold on, if we don't let go, that we're missing a beautiful blessing. But at the same time, if we don't sit where He has us, we're going to miss a beautiful blessing too. So my struggle and my encouragement, the same thing to you, would just be to stay in the season, look what God has, and just be blessed in that season, and learn to let it go when it's time to let it go.